Alright, so take a second and pause the video if you need to write down the question. Behind me, I have the main components of the question, but make sure you've read the actual question first before you resume. So, basically, you walked 8,000 steps today, and each one of your steps is about 38 inches. Now, the goal is to figure out how many miles did you walk. So, first, before we can figure out how many miles you walked, we need to work with what we have. We know you took 8,000 steps. And we knew each one was 38 inches. So how can we figure out how many inches you walked? Well, 8,000 steps, each one is worth 38 inches. So, yeah, you multiply. And you will find that you walked 304,000 inches. Sounds like a really far distance if you ignore the unit. Maybe you want to just refer to inches from here on out. Unfortunately, not the goal of the question. So we do know how many inches we walked. Now we have to convert it to miles. So, again, any conversion that you make, you need to figure out what system you're in and where are you heading, right? So, inches is the US system. Miles is also the US system. So you're going US to US. So you should have your conversion table out in front of you. Locate the US to US section. If you don't have it, pause it, run and grab that table and come back. Alright? You might have some of these measurements memorized just from being a citizen of the United States. So, when you look at your conversion table, you're under the US to US section. You need to recognize that both inches and miles measure length. So you're going to go under the length little subsection there. Now you're going to notice that you don't have the conversion from inches right into miles. You're going to have to take a step in between. So when you look at your conversion table, you'll probably notice that you can make take an intermediary step to feet. So maybe convert this to feet, and then you do have the feet to miles conversion as well. So it looks like we're going to have to do two conversions here. So the first conversion is 304,000 inches, and we want to convert it to feet. So there's multiple ways to do this. I'm just going to show you using the proportion route like we've been taking. So you need to know the relationship, which can be found on the conversion table. The relationship is that 1 foot equals 12 inches. Use this relationship to set up your proportion. Here's your first ratio. 1 foot over 12 inches equals, now your question. Make sure inches stays with inches. So 304,000 inches will go on the bottom so you can be consistent. And we're looking for feet. X feet, right? So from here, we can cross multiply. 12 times x gives you 12x equals 1 times 304,000, which gives you 304,000. Divide by 12 to get x alone. Cross this out. Now if you want to pause the video to figure this out on your own by hand or in the calculator, that works perfectly fine. You should get 25,333.3 in the 3 repeats. This little line means that that 3 keeps going on forever. Now the measurement here is, well, if you forget what you were looking for, go back to your proportion, find the x, and it's feet. So, we are close. We are so close. We have feet. We want miles though. We want the miles. So, I'm going to grab a different color here. Now, we want to take this and convert it to miles. So I'll come over here. Feet, and we want to convert it to miles. So, got to find that relationship. You should find it in the same section. If you need to pause the video to find it, please do so. You should end up figuring out that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So now, let's use this to create a proportion. We're going to use the same exact process. Remember, this process always works when you're converting from US to US or US to metric. So, we have 1 mile over 5,280 feet equals, use our question. Now, you don't have to type in 0.3333 so on, because you'll be accurate enough by just including 0.3 and kind of rounding it off to the nearest tenth. Typically, you want to keep this in your calculator so all those 3's are accounted for to ensure accuracy. So let's line everything up. This is feet, so it's going to go on bottom. And we're looking for miles, x miles. Again, cross multiply. 80x equals divide to get x alone. Now, because of this decimal, it should already cue you that you're not going to get the nicest number. That's okay. Welcome to the world around us. So, you should end up getting about 4.79. Now, this doesn't say how to round. Going forward, it will tell you how to round. Maybe it says nearest mile, and it would be 5 miles. Maybe it says nearest tenth, it'd be 4.8 miles. Maybe it's nearest hundredth, and you keep it at 4.79. It's all based on the scenario and how accurate you need to be. So, go give yourself a big pat on the back. You almost got to 5 miles today. All right, and keep up the good work.